In this video, I will explain 5 secret symbolisms within Kamisato Ayaka that you might not have known. When we think of Ayaka from within the game, there are a few things that stand out immediately. Cryovision, a katana, and a tea house owned by her clan. Now these things might as well have been random aesthetic choice by miHoYo to create a stylish character. But everything can be explained from a singular item that's in Ayaka's possession. There are many different types of fans in the culture of Japan, and the one in Ayaka's possession is a type of a fan used in traditional Japanese theater, known as kabuki. Kabuki is a type of a play showcasing stories of the past and folklore. The dancer performs in silence, which is often accompanied by music, and the fan is utilized as an extension of vocabulary, signifying things such as the falling snow, a sword, drinking or serving tea, and even the blooming of a flower. This correlation of kabuki is made obvious within the details of Ayaka. Her normal attack is literally called kabuki, and not to mention, at the end of her story quest, she gives us a dance performance using her fan, which mirrors the concept of kabuki directly. In a very simple sense, the fan symbolism of kabuki literally encompasses everything that has to do with Ayaka. Her cryovision representing the falling of snow, the katana as her weapon, and the komori tea house reflecting the drinking and serving of tea. But what about the blooming of flower? The flower can be explained if we take a closer look at the design of her fan, the white sakura. To many of us, sakura blossom or cherry blossom are often thought of having a pink color. Although this perception is correct, the sakura blossom are also known to have a color of white. In Ayaka's case, the color white seems to fit her very well, considering she represents the color of snow. Now, aside from its color, the sakura blossom represents a time of renewal in Japanese culture, the same ideology that Ayaka is trying to pursue. The renewal of happiness for the people of Inazuma, accompanied by her optimism. In terms of its aesthetics, the sakura flower is often depicted with 5 petals, which we can notice in multiple places relating to Ayaka's character design. First, the white 5-petaled flower found on her fan. Second, the flowers on her outfit. And third, even the emblem of the Kamisato clan, which is surrounded by a glacier of ice. Not to mention the sakura bloom, which is also an item that is needed to ascend Ayaka inside the game. Now, aside from the symbolism of renewal and optimism associated with the flower, there is another part to its meaning. Due to their quick blooming season and the accelerated life cycle, the sakura flowers are also represented to symbolize the shortness of life and its happiness. This can be seen within the story of Ayaka's parents, where they lost their lives at a seemingly young age compared to the normal lifespan of humans. This shortness of happiness might also be represented by what's to come within the story, the shroud of gloominess surrounding the story of Inazuma. Now, if we take a step back, aside from the fan and the sakura flower, there is another interesting symbolism within the design of Ayaka that describes her story in more detail. When we talk about the color theme of Ayaka, there are 3 obvious distinctions: gold, blue, and white. Gold is very simple to explain. In its simplest form, gold represents wealth, prestige, and nobility. The trim of gold found on Ayaka's outfit, which is also represented on the emblem of the Kamisato clan. Now the representation of blue gets very interesting. During the aristocracy period in Japan, there used to be a social system that was associated with colors. Within this system, certain colors were restricted to be worn by commoners. To commoners, these restricted colors were known as the forbidden colors. But of all the different type of colors within this social system, blue, which also represents wealth and prestige just like gold, was a color that could be worn by nobles as well as commoners. Interestingly, in the design of Ayaka's fan, we can notice that the color gold seemingly fades into blue, symbolizing Ayaka and the Kamisato clan acting as a bridge between the nobles and commoners. Obviously, this isn't the only meaning of blue. In Japanese culture, blue and white are both used as a representation of purity and transparency, another trait that fits Ayaka's personality and story rather well. Now, as if these three symbolisms of the fan, sakura flower, and colors weren't already enough, miHoYo takes a symbolism within Ayaka a step further. Kamisato Ayaka has few different type of titles. Shirasagi Himegimi, an honorary title given by the people of Inazuma. The Frostflake Heron, which was given by the developers, and her constellation Grus Nivis. All three of these titles can be traced back to one common theme: a white crane or a white heron. The title of Shirasagi Himegimi originates from a popular Japanese folk character known as Sagi Musume, who is also known as the White Heron Princess. The story of this character was often depicted and represented in various accounts in kabuki, the type of Japanese play that I covered earlier. Sagi Musume's basic backstory is of a white heron who turned into human. Now, with that in mind, if we look at the meaning behind the white crane or heron in Japanese culture, it mirrors Ayaka's story to almost perfection. White cranes are adored and cherished as a symbol of discipline, fidelity, and vigilance. They are believed to be messengers who serve as guides in the time of anxiety and imbalance. These white cranes or herons were known to help bring light in times of darkness, to celebrate love and joy in human lives. Simply, the white crane, or a messenger of guidance, is being symbolized in the story of Ayaka. Now, with the concept of white crane explained, there is one last symbolism that I want to cover. If you played through the story quest of Ayaka, you may have noticed the strange title of the story quest: The Whispers of the Crane and the White Rabbit. In Asian culture, the white rabbit is often represented as a type of everlasting figure living on the moon. The white rabbit, or Yuki Usagi, are also commonly made as a snow sculpture in Japan. In one version of the snow rabbit story, a farmer's wife was tricked and murdered by a tanuki, and the rabbit felt sorry for the farmer and promised to take revenge. The rabbit tricks the tanuki and pretends to be its friend. During their friendly alliance, the rabbit continues to harass the tanuki constantly and ultimately ends up drowning the tanuki to take revenge and keep its promise with the farmer. In a roundabout way, this whole story of the white rabbit also partially reflects the story of Ayaka. Ayaka and the Kamisato clan is under the rule of the shogunate of Inazuma. To help the local people, Ayaka is attempting to fix the problem behind Raiden Shogun's back secretly, perhaps to keep her promise that coincides with the nature of her Kamisato clan, working tirelessly to help the people of Inazuma for joy and happiness. With this many details put into Ayaka, beginning with the accessory like the fan, essential material, and even colors, I'm surprised that the design team hasn't gone crazy. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it. What do you think? Do you know of any other symbolism about Ayaka not covered in this video? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, smash like and consider subscribing for more future content on this channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.